Welcome back to the Blu808 Corvette build. This time we're going to show you guys how we finish off the K-Sport air jacks, the K-Sport hydraulic e-brake setup. Jeff from Jordan Innovations is down here doing all the mil-spec wiring on the car. We get our body work back from Lost Gas Body Shop and a bunch of other fun stuff. How many different colored Keep Drifting Fun shirts do you have, dude?
7.
Nice. Perfect. So now that we have our air nozzle mounted up, we should be able to take the airline connector, plug it in, the car will lift up, close it off, take this out, and the car will stay up. Open the valve, it'll go down. These are the Dash 6 bulkhead fittings that we're going to use to plumb the air lines for the air jacks through the floor. They're going to sit in here just like this. Might want to change those to 90-degree ones, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we could use them for mock-up right now. And change them over to 90s.
Is my mic on? I don't get it. What's an Alaskan key?
$4 or $5.
Why is that? Is that the toll? Is that how much a toll costs to get into Alaska? Damn, that looks nasty.
So the owner of drifting.com texted me when episode 4 came out, and he's like, I love little things like texting guy and like he's naming off other shit, but he called you texting guy. One of the most critical things with building any race car is the driver's seating position. You need to find a spot that's comfortable for the driver, and the more comfortable the driver is, the easier the car will be to drive. Let's see. We're just measuring here for the steering shaft length. Now I'll go cut it on the bandsaw and then weld it into the splines. Should be perfect. We're here making the switch panel for the Corvette. Just laid out a template for all the switches here, and since they're rectangular, they're kind of difficult to cut, so we'll drill a hole for relief in the corner and use the air saw and cut them out. I think the angle will be just fine.
Really? That far down? It's not too bad.
That's fine.
Right now we're going over with Luke the layout for the electrical system. This is what I do that's natural for me, but I guess not a lot of other people that do wiring for race cars do. I'm talking with Luke to find out what kind of functionality he wants on the car and going over laying out everything location-wise for me, so I know where all my components are. And then I go through and set the basically the amperage load, and then choose wire size off that, choose whether I do relayed or switched or both. And this is fairly unique because this ensures that he gets the functionality that he wants, and I make sure that it works electrically. This is horrible. This is a disaster.
It's gonna get chopped. Alright, now that we've made our rough cut, we'll go back with the air sander and even it out, and this will become our gauge bezel.
No, I'm doing, whoa, that is, actually, that almost works, but not quite. No, it doesn't work. So let's go up to 305. 305 works, and we got a little bit of play, so.
Here we have our AIM Sport carbon fiber bezel for the AIM Sport digital display. We've made our cuts, and now we're gonna see if it fits up into the gauge opening. Yeah, and that fits perfectly.
The challenge has to be back to the original of more like a lap time instead of a 3-minute challenge.
Yeah.
Because trying to do it in 3 minutes when you could have done it in 3:45.
Yeah, most of
Not so fun.
yeah, I'm sure the watchers aren't aware, but I'm on this like no sugar diet sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure if I ate a 3-pound donut, I'd probably explode with all that sugar. What do you think, Drew?
I hope so.
That should work, huh? Conrad and I had like a big old argument when we were building the Camaro on hard lines. And I was trying to show him pictures like the Apex R34 Skyline GTR fuel system and a bunch of other race cars that use, real nice hardline setups and everything looks all nice and symmetrically bent and everything. And he didn't really seem to think much of having cool bent hardlines. So this car's gonna have a bunch of those, just to show Conrad what's up.
It's like Christmas over here, going through this box of headlight parts, and it looks like we almost have 2 complete headlights worth. So these guys come around here. We don't really need blinkers. So we've got low beam, high beam, and indicator, and they all come across into this single connector. And GM's nice enough to use these weather sealed connectors. These are actually weather packs. So we're going to keep this connector, and we're going to test to see how much power each of these bulbs pulls, so I know what size circuit breaker to use on the headlight circuit. Luke wants the low beams and the high beams on at the same time. We can do that, that's not a problem. I'm actually going to hook this up. Got a little airplane battery here, a model airplane 12-volt battery, and I use it for testing because it's convenient. Set our multimeter to amps DC. That looks like low beam, and it's pulling 2.5 amps or so. Let's see this guy. High beam, we're getting about 3.5 amps. Let's say 6.5 amps per side. And there's our indicator light, and this is probably a indicator, and then this one's going to be the blinker. Nope, it's the other way around. That's indicator and that's blinker. Brodos, brodos, brodos. Andrew Brohan loves the brodozer. Here we've got our headlight harness. All the wires we need for our high beams, low beams, and daytime running lights, which Luke wants to run. We're gonna put them on the car and see if they fit. And we'll get loomed together. Looks good. Super light! People routinely ask me, how do you keep track of what all the wires go to when they're all white? And it's really tricky. The secret is to tag them and not have your tags come off. And then you take the tags off at the end and everyone's like, how'd you know?
Now we know.
Tricky, tricky. I think Teddy's down with the Formula D builds, but he'd definitely like it a lot better if it had an SR or something in it. V8s are killing drifting, bro. And this guy will come over here. All of the wires and connectors are people. So it's usually like this guy and that guy. Or if they're not cooperating, they might get a less favorable nickname. You want to help out? Come hold the dash in.
Am I in the way?
This has plenty of slack. And we can take this up. Oh yeah!
I just do you instead.
Do me instead? Mm-hmm. It's easier for me. I'll be like those geese, like quack! Ah!
Hey, keep making jokes because the audio's already ruined anyway.
Cool. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you glad I didn't ruin your audio? Got our mil-spec 12 gauge wire, put some terminals on it. The wrong size terminals. Oops. Everybody rolls around with hundreds of different size terminals, right? Once we get these on here and run, we're going to use some red Loctite. Make sure they don't loosen up, because this is not exactly a serviceable location.
What are you doing, Josh?
Cutting my car up to make it cooler.
I don't know about that, Josh.
Okay, to make it have holes in it. To have room for big wheels. Which I do have. You do know that. I hope the Steelers are losing. Just because I hate the Steelers. Ta-da!
we have the AIM Sports Pista MXL Dash. A lot of people are often discouraged from doing a digital display like this or any data acquisition merely on the fact that they think it's really complicated. They think that there's a whole harness to run, or they think that you need to add a bunch of sensors. Really, with this, all you need to do is tap one wire into your CAN bus line off your computer. There's no extra sensors to run, really essentially no extra wiring. You can plug it into your computer via USB and assign all the values and go to the racetrack. These here are the drive shaft shop Corvette output shafts. As you can see, they have some nice temper colors on them. These are a 575 alloy that's been heat treated and annealed. The stock Corvette output shafts, which are right here, tend to twist and break. Anybody that's drag raced a newer Corvette can probably attest to seeing these things snap axles at the line or split the case open. So if you can upgrade to these drive shaft shop output shafts, it'll solve the problem. So these are the Corvette ZR1 clutch packs that we're going to be using on our diff. These should provide a really strong lockup and a strong LSD for the car. Now that we've assembled our drive shaft shop output shaft with the ZR1 clutch packs, we're going to take this and slide it onto the housing. And now we're going to put this into the carrier. Now, since we've assembled the differential, all that's left really is just to bolt it together. So we're going to take these long bolts here and put them through the carrier, and what this will do is sandwich both sides of the diff together.